About a week ago, I was rehearsing an online course I was giving the next day. Now, I do a lot of teaching using a whiteboard, but the whiteboard I was using suddenly had an update. Now, I won't go into the details, but there were suddenly a lot of changes that meant I wouldn't want to use this particular whiteboard during an online course. So I decided I needed a new whiteboard app. I searched and I searched, but I couldn't find something that did exactly what I wanted. And then I remembered, I'm a developer. I could write my own whiteboard app, but I didn't really have time to spend to write a whole application. I've got stuff going on, important things to do. So I thought, well, maybe the robots can help. I decided to see if I could ask AI to help me write a whiteboard app. Now, I use ChatGPT a lot, but I find more and more that for kind of complex things, I've started to use a chatbot called Claude AI. It's like ChatGPT's younger, smarter sibling. So I opened up Claude AI and asked it to write me a whiteboard app. And it did, straight out of the box. There were a few things that needed changing, so I could just apply some very simple amendments. And it created a simple web page that I could use straight away, within 15 minutes, the whole thing. I used it to give the course the next day, and it went great. So over the next week, I added a few more features. Run as a standalone application. Support multiple whiteboards. Give me an overview of all whiteboards. Allow me to delete a whiteboard. Give me a chalkboard mode. Allow me to create notes. Allow me to navigate to notes. Let me rotate the whiteboard. Give me a drawing grid. Give me a highlighter tool. Support stylus pressure. Give me an eraser tool. Allow me to export an image. Allow me to export a PDF. Allow me to export my entire set of whiteboards. Allow me to rearrange whiteboards. Give me an interactive palette. Allow me to duplicate whiteboards. Allow me to name whiteboards. Give me a full screen mode. Allow me to copy or paste images. I added a whole bunch of things. Now, I say it took a week, but that's not quite true, because most of the time I wasn't working on the app. I was doing other stuff. But whenever I thought of a new feature, I'd re-upload the code to Claude and ask it to modify it. Now, don't get me wrong, it would get a bunch of stuff wrong, but I could fix it easily, and I ended up with an app that did far more things far quicker than if I'd just written it on my own. So what have I learned? First, don't update critical software 12 hours before giving a course. Don't do that. But there's other stuff that I've learned as well. 1. Chatbots are really smart and very productive, but they're programming interns. They can churn out code faster than a caffeinated squirrel on rollerblades, but just like that squirrel, they can occasionally get out of control. So you need to test the code thoroughly. You can then describe any bugs, tell the chatbot about it, and it can fix them fairly easily. 2. I couldn't find a way to do test-driven development where you write the tests first. Maybe in the future you'll be able to just provide it with a failing test and it can implement the fix for you, but not just yet. Also, for a lot of the features I asked for, I didn't really have an idea about exactly how it would do them. So for example, I asked it to support multiple whiteboards within the app, but I didn't really know how it would be implemented. I just asked the chatbot, it gave me an implementation, which I could then tweak. 3. This led to a kind of development methodology you might call fiat-driven development. I'd think of an idea, allow me to put sticky notes on the screen, and then the chatbot would work out exactly how to implement that. 4. But it was still important to have automated tests. After a couple of days, bugs started to creep into the code, and I had to start to put tests in order to prevent regression errors. Now, this was really hard to do, not technologically, but psychologically, because you're creating features and code so quickly that you suddenly become aware of how long it takes to create a test. The good news is that you can just ask a chatbot to tell you how to set up a testing framework, and it gives you a huge amount of support. 5. Take small steps. The app I wrote is just a single web app. There's no server-side code, so at the moment it would just support one person. But now it's in place, I could separately get it to create a simple piece of server code that would allow 2 people to collaborate in the same whiteboard. Oh, apparently I need to tell you about my products and services. So if you click on the link here, you'll find out more about my online courses.